Hey guys, working on the Merak E750. Moving out the next couple of steps, which are 1-3 and 1-4. In 1-3, we're working on the swash plate control arm set assembly, and in 1-4, we are working on the tail pitch control lever assembly. Nothing really too complicated here. Just a couple little items to note. I guess we'll start out with the elevator here. The manual calls for you to take and trim off 2 millimeters off of the ball link. And that is pretty straightforward as well. There's the two parts. And what I did to do that is I just designed a quick little jig in SolidWorks, probably 10-15 minutes max design time and about 15 minutes on the printer. But it's a tight fit, and then you put the full length ball link in there like that. Move that over, and then basically what you do after that is you take a number 18 X-Acto blade, and that fits in there, and then you just like guillotine and slice off that tip there, and it keeps everything perpendicular, and worked out really good. So yeah, I enjoy designing these little jigs and stuff. So yeah, it came out good, quick and easy, made life a little simpler. The other thing to really note is the aileron levers here that they're showing. If you look here, I'll put them together, it makes it a little bit easier to show you. They're definitely side specific. So you've got one that's got this smaller angle, and then you've got the other one that's got the larger angle. And this larger angle is for the left side, and the smaller angle is for the right side. It's all indicated in the manual, but I just wanted to highlight that. So just pay attention when you're putting that together and stuff. So the only other really thing is the linkage balls. There's 3 different sizes in this step. You've got a 7.5, a 2.5, and a 5.5. And just so you kind of know how they're coming up with those measurements, the measurements are from the base here to the center of the ball. And that's probably industry standard, but I just wanted to highlight it, that is where the measurements are coming from. So this one is the 7.5 millimeter ball. These other ones are the 2.5, and then the only oddball out is this 5.5 one right here, and that's for the tail slider. So yeah, other than that, everything looks like it's going to go together really easily. All the parts have obviously been cleaned already in the ultrasonic. And I will cut the video here. I'll get to assembling, and then I will show you what they look like when we're all done. Thanks, guys. So I figured I'd jump in here real quick just to show you guys what I do for putting thread locker on. I see a lot of people that put on way too much thread locker. You really don't need a whole lot. Less is actually more. So I'll just show you what I do. I usually put it just on a little plastic sheet, that way it doesn't absorb or into a towel or anything like that. But typically what I do is I get the, in this case, the linkage ball. I just put a little bit of thread locker on my bolt, and I go on the toothpick, and I go around the threads, and hopefully that'll show up. But that's all that I put on there. And then from there, it's just a matter of just screwing it on. But yeah, I don't use a whole lot, and I found over time that just putting a little bit of thread locker onto the plastic, and then I just use that toothpick and just get a little bit and then wrap it around the first few threads. And for reference, I'm using Loctite 243 is what I use for that. And then on the bearings that were in here, and all bearings on that outer race, I either use Loctite 620 or the 648. This is a little thicker, so if there's a little bit of a gap, I use this, and if not, if it's a finer fit or closer tolerance, I use a 648. But yeah, I mean, those are just the 2 that I use, and I'll go over other lubricants as I go along here and ways to secure things. But I just wanted to share that with you real quick while I was going through it. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks. Okay, steps 1-3 and 1-4 are complete. Everything went together really nice, no issues. The only thing I didn't mention in the first clip was that these bearings on these 3 components and the collars were already installed. So all I needed was the actual linkage balls to be installed there. So let's see here. So for the elevator, this is the orientation that's going to sit in the helicopter with the set screw hole openings to the top. Then the linkage rod will go through there and attach to the control lever for the elevator, and then you can lock it down and stuff. But to note, these balls links have a larger ID and a smaller ID, and the way that sits in the helicopter is like this. So the larger ID goes towards the linkage balls. So yeah, that's pretty common sense, but yeah, these ones are definitely have a larger and a smaller opening. So just pay attention to that when you're assembling this and putting that together. So that completes those. I will move that out of the way. Step 1-5 is just putting together the battery tray and the ESC mount. Nothing cosmic here. You've got the short battery tray configuration here, and that's where you stack 2 batteries on top of each other. This uses 3 M3x8 flathead screws, and the ESC tray uses 4 M3x6 flathead screws. Neat thing about the ESC tray is it gives you a bunch of options for mounting and whatnot. You've got a couple different hole openings here, and then other 2.5 mil holes, so you can use whatever ESC can fit in those. And then in my case, I'm using the Scorpion Tribunus ESC. It's only the 120 amp, 130 amp one, but I'll have to come up with something and probably use these 2.5 millimeter holes, and I'll design something out real quick and 3D print it just to hold it down. I'm using the cooling fan, so a strap over the top wouldn't necessarily be the best thing to do. So yeah, other than that, yeah, everything looks pretty good here. I will assemble this, and I'll get right back with you, and we'll finish up this video. Thanks. Hey guys, we're back. Step 1-5 is complete. Nothing really to note on the battery tray. All looks good. Everything works really good there, nice and secure. The ESC tray, the only thing to really note here is that the top of the flatheads, I don't know if you can see that or not, they stick a little proud to the top surface there. So I may or may not have to take this apart and re-countersink it. I'll kind of just know once I get the ESC mounted and figured out how I'm going to do that. So, but yeah, for right now, everything looks good, fits real nice. Yeah, next steps will be getting out the frame and starting to mount some of these components to the frame, so that'll be exciting. And I appreciate you guys following along, and I hope you found some value, and we'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks.